What's good, YouTube? New music video. We just got done watching a video about one of not one of the greatest, but you know, one of the biggest scammer rappers, TJX6 and stuff like that. You know, he was a big fat lie. He got exposed for, you know, paying for the box and not really having the money to pay for the box. He was scamming his fans and stuff like that. He was a big fat liar. And speaking of big fat liar, y'all remember that Disney Channel movie, Big Fat Liar? Oh my fucking god, yes! W transition, I fucking love it. Oh yes, y'all remember that movie on Disney Channel, Big Fat Liar, bro? Because I definitely do. This was one of my shits. And I'm not gonna hold you though. This little kid right here, he was running Disney Channel for a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, he had some bangers. He had some good movies. He had some decent movies. And we gonna be reacting to another one to hit those videos like after this one. But Big Fat Liar though, this was a very unique kind of movie though. I ain't gonna hold you. Very unique kind of movie, because I think he gets something stolen from him by this man, and he basically lies about it and basically like feeds off the fame, and he basically makes it his life mission to destroy him, like torturing this nigga, like basically putting him through all types of bro. Yo, let's get into it. Let's get into it. The truth about Big Fat Liar from my man Jordan Fringe, you know, W channel.
The end of this year's Muniz March Madness. Welcome to the end of this year's Muniz March Madness, a series where we look at film and television shows featuring Frankie Muniz. And this year so far, we've looked at a total of... We've only made one video. But hey, at least it was about 2 movies, am I right? Today, for our finale, though, I have something special.
That's what we
for
also
you.
gonna be reacting to as well.
Made Being Blue
that movie was pretty good.
Cool before James Cameron would make every dollar that ever exists with his Avatar franchise. Big Fat Liar. Some of you are probably watching this video as just another video. Maybe some that are a bit excited to talk about the movie, but there's one person out there that is more excited than any of you that this video has finally come to fruition. For nearly 2 years now, there has been one person so dedicated to me making this video, holding out hope when times seem dark that maybe, just one day...
God damn, who the fuck was waiting on your ass to make this video? Like, Jesus. Like, damn, when they finally saw that this video got posted, they probably busted the fattest nut to this, bro.
Jordan Fringe will finally talk about Big Fat Liar. And for that I say, Anthony, this one's for you, buddy.
Anthony, contain yourself. Nigga was probably like, bro, had his whole screen covered in nut. You know what came out in 2002? Big Fat Liar. Sean is one of those things that always appealed to me, but I never watched. I spent all my time watching Big Fat Liar, which you should review instead. Why he kind of look like JoJo with a different like haircut and a very sophisticated mustache? Why he kind of look like JoJo? JoJo, this your twin, bro? Your long lost twin? Like, really? Jesus, you glance at him for a second. You like, yo, is that JoJo? Like, what the fuck? I was about to say, what the fuck is that? Oh, he still kept typing. Hold on. He said, God, I hope so. And while we're at it, can Big Fat Liar come back? God damn, bro. I've noticed an increase in uploads. Make sure you don't overwork yourself, especially... But it gives me hope I'll see Big Fat Liar review soon. God damn, bro. Fiendin'. Dear Diary, today, I once again asked friends to review Big Fat Liar. Sam Manson, best girl. Big Fat Liar, best future friends, like, review. Motherfucker. Like, yo, get off my guy dick. Hold on. Put you over here. Ohana means family, and family means my family is disappointed that one of my movies I watched as a kid, but I'm going to do it anyway. Please review Big Fat Liar. Jesus, what's this? You activated my stand ability, Big Fat Liar. It is incessantly asks you to review Big Fat Liar, like me. This nigga was really a big fat fucking fiend. Like, damn. I'm done reading. He said one person, like, Jesus.
How funny would it be if this whole video and the purpose of me talking about this film was just a big fat lie in itself? Especially with April Fools around this time as well. Well, lucky for you, I don't celebrate April Fools. And I hope you...
Thank you, because that, I'm not gonna lie, it's probably one of the dumbest holidays. It's not even a holiday. One of the dumbest celebrations ever.
You all enjoy this video on such a classic 2000s Frankie Muniz moment, but I hope Anthony enjoys the video just a bit more than anyone.
You are lying through your teeth, you little demon.
Damn. Like that?
Big Fat Liar. Man, it feels so weird to finally say that title. Now, Frankie Muniz was on the rise at this time in history for both film and television, being the perfect vessel for a kid or teen figure that gets to be smarter than all the adult figures around him. A character, nay, a person you wish you could be.
Real shit though, because majority of the things that he was in, he basically played that kid that was smarter than all the adults.
We talked a lot about that in my last video, but what happens when you take Frankie, pair him with another one of the biggest rising stars of the late 90s and throughout the 2000s, Amanda Bynes, toss in one of the best actors out.
And speaking of Amanda Bynes, goddamn, I heard all that news about her, how she had like, a mental breakdown and like, she went crazy, running the streets naked and stuff. That's, damn, the fall off is crazy, man. I hope she's doing good though. I hope she got some help.
Out there with Paul Giamatti, and top it off with a pretty fresh director that would go on to direct a plethora of fun, lighthearted, and even high-grossing films, Sean Levy. He also executive produced Stranger Things. Well, you get what seems like a nice match when looking back at it. And it was the first movie when I was young to introduce me to Paul Giamatti. And what an impression to leave on a kid. This movie is a fun little trip through the way Hollywood works. Maybe, kinda, not really. And how lying is easy and an escape, but truth is worth it and shall set you free. Or something. Look, the funny bad man turns blue. That's a whole point on its own for how much I think this movie is awesome. Now, this film did come out the year before Agent Cody Banks, so maybe that film borrowed some basic opening ideas from this film as we start out in somewhat chaos, where Frankie's character Jason, or Jace as some call him, is late for waking up for school in his busy and messy teenager room with some MX vs. ATV still on the screen from the night before, as all we see him do here is lie about all of these little things and hide some things just because it's easier to do than face the consequences of just being honest about being late or eating breakfast or whatever. But our story takes place in Greenberry, Michigan, where Jason is skateboarding to school, another thing we see in Agent Cody Banks, but here he doesn't save a kid from a terrible accident. He gets bullied by Taron Killam's character Brett, who just steals his skateboard, which sucks because he's late to school and he's locked out of it. Like, okay, you saw him coming. He was only seconds late, and
that's what I'm saying. You literally saw him coming. You saw him coming. He was seconds late, and you just shut the shit in his face. That made, like, when does that ever happen? I would have been so mad, but to keep it a buck with you, I would have exploited that opportunity and walked my ass back home. I guess I don't have school today. The fuck, they locked me out of the school. I was literally about to get there, and she shut the door in my face. I'm like, well, I guess I don't have school.
This is
like,
cruel.
What? Like, really? Teachers, like, I'm not gonna lie. What was going through that teacher's head? She's just like, you know what? I'm gonna just shut this kid out. The fuck? No school for you today. Who's really missing out here? Like, what the fuck? Who's really, like, really though? Who's really the dumb one? Like, okay, I guess I just don't have school today. Like, what the fuck? Telling that to a middle school kid or a high school kid, whatever. Bring my ass back home.
And why the school system needs to be better. At least do better in 2002. It reminds me of when Drake made Josh late for school that one time, and because of that, he was locked out of this classroom to take this important test. And then because of that, he was completely done with Drake. And it's just a great episode, and I really want to go watch it.
It really is.
What?
Is this a good time to announce my future Drake and Josh video? Or anyway, he then needs to sneak in.
I wonder what it's gonna be about. It should be a movie though. Oh, I hope he does the Drake and Josh movies, man. Them shit was good. Drake and Josh Go to Hollywood, Merry Christmas, Drake and Josh. Those were iconic.
Through the window.
I should watch those.
To get to class, we meet Amanda Bynes' character, Kaylee, who helps distract the teacher as he gets into the classroom, where then he gets caught and he does what he does best, lies, telling the teacher this whole story about his father being in the hospital thanks to choking on a meatball, and that's why he couldn't complete this really important writing assignment that was due, even having the teacher go.
Wasn't that the same teacher that locked you out though? Wasn't that the same teacher that locked you out the school?
Out and call his dad for the proof that this did happen, but everyone in the classroom knows he's full of crap. But the students are at least entertained, especially when she calls and his cell phone rings, where he convinces a reluctant Kaylee to help him pretend that this is his father's office that she's calling, as then he pretends to be his own father, and the lie, it ends up working.
I ain't gonna hold you. If I was sitting in class and I saw this man put on that whole show, I would have been impressed my damn self. I'd have been like, God damn, that That really worked. Nigga just put on a whole play. Like, what the fuck? That acting is pristine.
Working until the next scene where it doesn't, as his parents are there now at school and they have a talk with him about not having done this assignment, which was very crucial towards his final grade as it accounted for 1/3 of it, meaning that if he doesn't turn it in, he has to go to summer school, and the teacher gives him an extra 3-hour extension to write it and return it to her after hours. 1,000 words in 3 hours is pretty harsh, but he finally comes up with his story, writing about what he knows, lying, creating a story titled Big Fat Liar, modeled after him, but with a full fantastical story surrounding it, and he didn't have to download it off the net like the teacher threatened him not to.
And don't even think about downloading something from the net, Jason.
Okay, so now there is limited time to turn this in. He doesn't have a skateboard anymore, so he borrows his sister's old bike, but then out of nowhere gets just hit by a limo, one that is driving around Marty Wolf.
Okay, technically it wasn't hit by a limo. You hit the limo. Let's really keep this a buck here. Like, you know what I'm saying? You literally ran face first into it.
Hollywood film screenwriter and producer that isn't really that great of a guy. But after threatening that his neck does hurt, Marty agrees to give him a ride to where he needs to go instead of getting a lawsuit. But when he gets into the car, his backpack spills out as he frantically tries to put everything back in before getting dropped off. Marty mentions to Jason that it's all about the next big hit to be right back on top, and is looking for that next big break to happen, as Jason was dissing on a lot of the movies that he had previously made. But as Jason leaves the car, the next big break might have just been found still on the floor of the limo, as there was the story of Big Fat Liar left from Jason.
Crazy how it was literally in like script form though. Like, it's like, maybe I could turn this into a movie.
As Marty smiles as they drive off.
Big Fat Liar, tomorrow at 9, 8 Central on Disney Channel.
Oh, I miss those kind of commercial cutaways, man. Good times.
Marty is now shown to be on the set of the film he is making with Jaleel White, where in the movie that we're watching has several jokes about Jaleel's character back in the day acting as Urkel. And the film that he is in within this film is called Whitaker and Fowl, a buddy cop movie where Jaleel's partner is a chicken who is more famous than him. I just have to say though, Paul Giamatti is such a good and committed character actor, really letting loose in roles like this where it seems that he's having a blast getting to play this awful person who is mean to everyone and feels that he is better than most, adding in this degrading sarcasm with almost every line delivery. And with what's yet to come in the movie, the commitment, again, it's just outstanding. After wrapping filming this, he heads back to Hollywood from Michigan as we see Jason talking with his teacher and his parents about the lack of the assignment being turned in. This time where he is telling the truth, but regardless of how far-fetched or not it sounds, no one believes him about it. They just assume that he didn't do it, and this is another lie like usual, meaning he has to now go to summer school to make up for it all. It's the classic boy who cried wolf setup. You lie so much that the one time you are telling the truth and it's needed to be believed, no one does. With a little bit of time passing, Jason and Kaylee head to the movies where they see a trailer for an upcoming film titled Big Fat Liar. A film that hasn't even been shot yet and
like, yo, that's my movie. What the fuck? And hold on. They even shoot the film yet, but how y'all already have a trailer?
Somehow has this whole trailer made for it a whole year before it's out. So Jason sees this and he sees the title and he freaks out. Even at home now where he sees Marty talking about this upcoming movie on a late night show where he's just yelling at the screen saying that he stole this, as Marty on the late night show is just claiming that he created it. His parents though still don't believe him. But it's
I've been like, yo, screw the both of y'all. I made this movie. Imagine your child, like literally your middle school child, just yelling at a damn TV show because he sees a freaking man on it. He's like, yo, he stole my movie. He's like, yo, son, go to bed.
The trust his dad lost in him that is eating Jason up the most. He wants to do whatever it takes to earn that trust back, so when his
parents, those blue eyes were sharp.
To leave on this trip, he begins to devise a plan.
Blue eyes could kill a man.
Meeting his older sister's boyfriend.
Yo, what's up, dog? How you living, yo? What's cracking, kid? Peace out, little G.
Jason goes over to...
I never... Nah, the face that I made was hilarious. Hold on, let me look back at it. No, that's hilarious. I'm sorry. Nah, but I never understood characters like that. Like, why did the older sister always have to be dating some kind of douchebag? Like, really, though? Like, that shit made no sense to me. Why did he have to be an asshole? Or it could be like the babysitter's boyfriend or something like that. Like, that it never made sense to me. Because it's like, yo, bro, what do you see in this guy? Like, damn, nigga got doodle dreads.
See Kaylee
I mean,
as
doodle
he
braids.
begs her to come with him to Hollywood, but she's too busy tutoring Brett and would need someone who could be there with her grandmother. So now they get the bully here to dress like Kaylee and pretend to be her, spending time with the grandmother until they get back. And maybe he's just more of a goofball than a bully, as we'll check back on him in a little bit. But now our two main stars fly out to Hollywood to find this man. When they arrive, Jason pretends to be the person on this limo driver's plaque that he's holding up at the airport, and it's Turk from Scrubs, which is neat. Here as Frank, who ends up driving them to Universal Studios. As we get the basic tour of a lot of these attractions with some Jurassic Park music playing in the background, and that gets extra points for me once again. It's my favorite movie ever. I'm sorry I had to mention it. And while we were on the topic of the Universal lot here, the film is all about being on the Universal film lot, as we will get to see plenty of references, Easter eggs, and blatant in-our-face advertising of other Universal properties. Seeing this kind of stuff in films, especially coming from the studio
I bet you I'm not gonna pick up none of them.
Hit or miss with me. Sometimes it feels too much like patting themselves on the back, but sometimes, like in this movie's case, it is pretty fun. It's all about how it's handled, and I am curious how you feel about that specifically. During the tour,
Yeah,
however,
not
they
picking up
sneak
none of
away
them.
and get onto the sets themselves, sneaking around and being behind the scenes of the magic of filmmaking, where extras and set decorators are all running around. But we need to focus on something specific, and that's finding Marty's office, where the first obstacle to get by is Astrid, this dog-obsessed secretary who works for Marty that they easily distract to get her out of the way by saying she parked her car on a dog's tail, and this almost makes her throw up.
Hang on. Okay, I'm coming. Don't die. I'm coming. Keep breathing. Think of a happy place.
And then
Oh,
Kate
yeah, I
just
can't even
takes
believe
over
that I
as the
did something so
secretary
horrible.
for
Like,
now,
oh my
while
God, I'm
Jason
coming.
goes
Oh my
to
gosh.
confront Marty. We then find out that Marty is arguing with Monty, his personal assistant, that is pretty fed up with how awful he is for the most part, and sometimes just how stupid he is. But she does a good job at doing whatever is asked of her to do and beyond. But Marty realizes that Jason and him need to be alone for a moment, as all Jason wants more than anything is for Marty to just call his dad and tell him that the movie Big Fat Liar is based on a story that he wrote and dropped in his...
That's what I'm saying. I don't even want, like, bro, you don't even need to go do a whole press show. I don't need you to, like, blow your own spot up. All I need you to do is call my dad and tell him, yeah, he wrote the shit. And he left it in my car. Like, that's it. That's all I wanted you to do. I'm not saying give me credit for the movie, even though I should be I wrote the movie. But it's like, he's not asking for credit of the movie, not money, not like, oh, I want you to expose yourself. Like, none of that. None of that. All I need you to do is call my pops. Call my pops and let him know your son was the one who actually wrote the movie and he left his story or essay in my car. That's all he had to do, bro. But then, literally from this point on, this is where the movie really starts.
his limo to prove that what he said was not a lie. It's a pretty fair trade. Any Hollywood person would want this if this were the case. Jason doesn't want money for this idea or credits on the film or anything.
Oh,
Just a
come on.
simple phone call
My
and maybe a
nigga.
chance to finally turn in his assignment. Well, it seems he is going to do this, and he's playing all nice. He then smokes a cigar in celebration after pulling out the original assignment papers, but then he just starts burning them and destroying the original copies, getting rid of any proof that there would be of this. I mean, stealing scripts or story ideas in Hollywood happens more than you'd think. So I understand a bad moral person doing something like this in general in this space, despite how wrong it is. But when getting off the hook as easy as just telling some random kid's father the truth, you are really dumb.
You're
as
really
you now
dumb.
are in for a world of torture at the
That's
hands
what
of a
I'm
secret
saying.
agent. Oh, that's the other movie. At the hands of...
Because now he's literally about to fuck your life up. Literally. Now it's up. Now it's up. Like, you feel me? Now it's really, like, come on.
a regular kid who...
Bro, you really fuck with them Cody Banks movies. Like, dang, bro. Like, maybe I should have watched those before I watched this one. But the transition was just there. The transition was there.
who can lie pretty good sometimes, but hey, at least
The
Kaylee
transition
is a
was
pretty
there.
good
I
receptionist
couldn't
as well,
miss out.
and she truly looked out for
I
Astrid.
couldn't
And
miss
I
the
scheduled a
opportunity.
deep body massage for you at 3. You look like you could use a little you time. Thank you, kind stranger.
The two of them, though, get escorted out, and Jason's angry, truly needing to find a way to get Marty to admit the truth. And in order to do so, he ended up taking his handheld, or Palm Pilot, or whatever you universally agree to call this thing, a handheld PC, pocket PC, which has his full schedule, contact information, and everything they need to know in order to really get some revenge on this man. Kaylee is again still kind of reluctant to go along with everything, but is a really good friend and has his back, especially when she sees how much he really wants to earn his parents' trust back, make his father proud, especially after the disappointing look on his face Jason had to see. They end up staying in some prop storage area full of iconic props from Universal franchises like Jurassic Park or The Grinch, Back to the Future, you name it, it's somewhere in the background. It's like playing I Spy for film fans. They also have access to a bunch of clothes there, and they decide that it's time for a classic 2000s montage, where they try on all of these different outfits accompanied by a hit pop song, leading into a potential Coca-Cola sponsorship, where Jason is wired on caffeine right now. But all of that went into the best plans of attack ever to get some revenge, up until they get caught lying to the limo driver Frank, as we then find out that he, like many others, was treated poorly by Marty as well, for just wanting to audition as an aspiring actor, as he was once his limo driver. So he forgives all the lying and the money owed for the limo ride for a chance at getting some shoe-eat revenge as well.
This one didn't
get this
audition?
classic stuck in my brain
'Cause he was black.
car trying to start bit that anytime the kids try to speak over him, he just starts making this noise.
If you listen...
And the film even has some nice self-awareness.
I got some R-rated dialogue for you, but I'm gonna keep it PG.
Such a great scene, and Donald Faison here is excellent. We see in a meeting just how
I have some R-rated dialogue for you, but I'm keep this movie PG. Y'all niggas is fucking lucky. Oh shit, that wasn't PG, but still.
how even more awful Marty is as he speaks to the senior vice president of publicity to help promote and get word out about the film, poking fun at her weight with a Twinkie comment that will pay off towards the end of the movie.
Huh? Sure you're not seeing the VP of Twinkies?
We get to
You're not seeing the VP of Twinkies, huh? Huh? You fat bitch? Huh? You fatty? Like,
meet who is directing the film, though, and that is Dusty Wong, who, as we will see, is kind of a parody of John Woo and his directing style, played by John Cho. Now, Woo is a director who uses a lot of camera angles, white birds or doves, and slow motion within their work, which again is something that pays off towards the end. Our main characters sneakily follow around Marty all day to see his little routines and to learn about how he is with others, like seeing him being mean to Lee Majors, who plays a skilled but older stunt coordinator named Vince, which thanks to Vince's granddaughter's birthday party invite, we get to see a blue clown with red hair, a nice foreshadow for what's about to come. Now that we've spent the day understanding this guy's routines and everything, we get to have a night to prepare and get ready to execute all of this stuff in the morning. We also have to check in on Kaylee's grandma because this ET reminds her of her, which is, how thoughtful, or is that like a sneak diss? But either way, she's just back home getting swole right now, and it's a good time.
fat ass eyeballs, I feel.
I also love that during this check-in phone call Jason is having with his dad, that Kaylee is just
I never understood how in some movies where like a character puts on glasses, though, their eyes just become like hella fucking large. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like X-ray vision type shit. Like they could see through walls with how big their eyes is.
in the background in a Velcro suit, playing on an inflated stickum wall she's jumping onto and falling off of. And I think their relationship here is just a really pure friendship, where they're just kids goofing off, having a great time. And they're on this adventure together. But now it's time to get revenge. We got the equipment needed, the plans are all set, as Marty unexpectedly is waking up into one of the worst days of his life.
Big Fat Liar, Friday at 8/7 Central.
At Marty's
We'll
house,
be
we
back
see
with
him
Big
getting
Fat
up to
Liar
start
here
his
on
day,
Disney
complete
Channel.
with Play fighting his favorite stuffed animal monkey friend.
Look out!
And a morning dip into the pool, where Jason and Kaylee have just poured in some blue dye. So while he jumps into that, all backed by the song Hungry Like the Wolf by Duran Duran, they sneak inside and fill his shampoo bottle with dye that would make his hair all red, as by the end of his shower, he realizes that he is just like the clown on that invite from earlier. But who cares, we can all panic about this later, we have work to get done as Marty. So he just pops in his earphone and speaks with Monty about having to meet with the new president of the studio, where they have to agree on a budget.
I ain't gonna hold you though, that is rough, bro. Your entire body is dyed blue. Your hair is orange. Oh my goodness, bro. Ugh. Now that just looks crazy, bro.
They can begin filming Big Fat Liar. But just before this, Kaylee called in pretending to be someone from the studio president's camp, giving Monty this fake new address for him to go to. So Monty relays this information to Marty, so now he's in the car heading over to this new address given, as he starts to realize the headset that he put in, well, it's now glued to his ear and can't be pulled out. Forgot to mention that, they super glued that to his ear. Again, it doesn't matter. He needs to make this meeting without being late, so he's going there as is. When he arrives, lo and behold, it's a birthday party, and all the kids think he's the clown.
It's the clown! Let's hurt him!
Ah, Yeah, this kid gets it. I would do the same if I ever saw
This
a
kid
clown.
gets it.
Good thing they aren't real, except for Ronald McDonald. While this is happening, the main group is outside messing with his car, rewiring everything so that when he comes back to it, after this whole clown beatdown, he quickly finds his car not really working. The brake is the horn, and essentially everything in the car triggers something else to go off. And we get the classic Blue Dabba-Dee by Eiffel 65. That is synonymous with this movie. From the marketing to the nostalgic memories, you can't separate these two things. Jason pulls up to Marty to taunt him about all of this happening and giving him the option for all of this to stop if he just calls his dad. But that's not going to work for someone.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just like, yo, bro, just call my pops and admit that you was wrong. But, you know, people from Hollywood, they have no souls. They have no hearts, no emotions.
So stubborn. Well, the whole brakes being the horn thing causes him to unintentionally honk at this giant monster truck-like vehicle, and after bumping into him, causes the dude to jump out of that, who's supposed to be a monster truck driver and wrestler type who gets mad, but not physically. Instead, he just hops back in his truck and flattens Marty's car to a pancake, which now he ends up getting a ride from a tow truck to the film premiere that he needs to go to so he can meet with Duncan. And we get one of the best lines of the film.
They told me to pick up a little blue car. They didn't say anything about a little blue man.
The film premiere, though, is for that buddy cop chicken movie where once again the chicken,
A little blue man,
and everything to get to Marty to call his dad fails. It's time for phase 3 of their operation, and Kaylee is just casually chilling on a DeLorean. That's not important. I'm just jealous. But the final phase of this plan is for them to infiltrate this Hollywood party after the premiere where there's a bunch of
She wanna go back to the future, so I bought that girl a DeLorean. Shout out Uzi.
celebrity cameos here. Kind of. There's like the director's there at one point. But Keenan's there, and I'm just happy to see him. What's he doing here? I don't know. For Marty, though, the studio president is not happy with the new movie that just premiered, seeing how much the studio is losing with it, and gives him one final chance to really sell the need for the money on Big Fat Liar, or the plug will be pulled and he will be out of Hollywood, or I guess at least out of Universal. Jason enters in on Marty freaking out over this with Monty and offers him a way out of this. He will help save this film and its budgetary pitch so that they can start filming the movie the following day, which is not how Hollywood should be working, but regardless, Jason, like I said, will help him with some creative twist, a real selling point in return of getting Marty to finally just call his dad and settle this whole thing once and for all. Marty actually agrees to this, and through the headset that's still glued into his ear, Jason feeds him stuff to say to this whole group of people, which ends up really working. But then Marty starts taking it into his own direction after getting this producer buzz and ends up convincing the studio president to pass through everything for the production, but any slip up whatsoever and he'll be gone. Marty thanks Jason and acts like he's actually going to call his dad now, but instead it was security and had
Yo, this nigga was really staying 10 toes down on his bullshit. Oh my gosh.
them escorted out.
But if anything, like, you know, there's like another 30 minutes left of the movie. I know you didn't think that this was gonna resolve like that. You know what I mean? It's Hollywood. These people got no emotions, no souls. What'd I just say?
And held until he would be put on a flight back home. Monty, though, sees all of this and fully learns that Jason really did come up with the whole story for the movie, and all of her grievances with her boss have hit a boiling point, especially for his job as the screenwriter part of it. But thanks to us knowing some dialogue from earlier, we see that she really wrote this uncredited and actually has the talent between the two. She might just have to jump in and do something about all of this. So in captivity, Jason and Kaylee speak on what to do now, as she doesn't want him to give up. She always sees how creatively he gets in and out of stuff, and they've come so far to give up. But he's ready to start telling the truth. He ends up calling his dad and tells his parents the truth about where he is and what's going on. And now his parents are going to be on the first flight over to LA in the morning, as Kaylee can't stand to see Jason lose all the trust his parents had in him, and not being believed even though it's all true. Monty shows up and replaces the guard watching them and reveals to the kids that she is on their side now and is willing to help them truly get full revenge on what is Marty's last chance to not mess things up as we enter a surprising new bonus phase, Phase 4. Let's hope it's better than Marvel's. Jason and Kaylee turn into this full-on operation here, where they get together so many people that Marty has wronged, as they all are willing to help out. To start things off, they have Frank pick him up as the limo driver, but he's going pretty slow here.
Pedal to the metal, Ricky Retardo!
Well then. But then the limo fakes breaking down.
This was on Disney Channel? Jesus, Ricky Retardo is wild.
And he gets so freaked out about this and jumps into Jalil's car, who happens to just come driving by.
Jaleel, yeah.
Them to the desert, almost hitting this poor startled iguana, where due to his high speeds and getting way out of the way, Marty jumps out of the car and is just now stranded in the desert. All this happening while Jason and Kaylee are in this 2000s-esque mission operating room, making sure everything is running to plan, and I feel like all this extra tech is just unnecessary, but go off. And now they send in a helicopter to come and get him, and a shot that looks like it's from a completely different movie, as the helicopter is piloted by none other than Vince, who while in the air tricks him into thinking that the helicopter is going down and they need to jump out of it. With only having one parachute, he just gives a big old hug to Vince in order to survive this fall. No real safety harness on him or anything, but it's okay. A secret hidden pilot takes over the helicopter so it doesn't really crash. That would be reckless, right, Drake and Josh?
I just realized that though. Y'all just let the oh shoot, Drake and Josh, they actually did just let the plane, I mean the helicopter just crash, huh? Because the guy who was supposed to be piloting them, he knocked them out the helicopter. Damn.
Yeah, you're touching my butt. Oh, sorry.
That's how much you owe
Oh, yeah. And then he showed up at the end with a bill.
me for my new helicopter. $400,000.
Damn.
This is a story of a Hollywood jerk.
$400,000.
Frank is busy now getting Jason's parents from the airport to the film lot. While
I wonder if that's an accurate cost for a helicopter.
Duncan arrives to find out that Marty hasn't shown up yet on day one, which is not a good look, but it's okay. He's on foot, determined to make it there, finally making it to the lot, but getting stopped in the Western film set by Jason, who has Marty's special monkey stuffed animal with him, leading into a chase throughout a bunch of different movie sets, and it really starts feeling like
the average price of helicopters for sale on globalair.com is $1 million. In the past 30 days, the price has ranged from as low as $100,000 and as high as $2 million. Yeah, imagine getting a nice little helicopter for $100K, $200K.
like a big ad for Universal at this point. And this one tech guy has the water come flooding in to slow down Marty in this chase, but that doesn't work too well because he just catches right back up. It doesn't matter. So now they're running up the stairs to the top of this building where we see all the doves flying up in the air, slow motion jumping scenes as they're trying to fight over this monkey, and with so many different camera angles that you really understand the John Woo parody now. While out loud, Marty admits to everything in an aggressive, taunting way, as then we hear cut, and several cameras all around the area appear, and the director was filming and caught all of that on camera, and for all of the monitors down below to the film production crew, his parents, and everyone else around to see who Marty truly is and what he had done. Even the press are there, as the publicity VP did her job and got the journalists to view this happening, as she got to have her cake and eat it too, or got her Twinkie. Marty is really angry, and after Jason says the truth is not overrated, of course he tries to capture the kid, but Jason jumps off of the roof and lands safely on this jump pad below, as Marty loses everything to his name. Jason's parents fully believe him now and are proud of everything he went through to prove it, and in the end, the movie itself is still happening, where at the premiere we see that Frank is the main lead actor in the film, and the new credits go from Marty to Monty, and that it was based off of a story by Jason, making his parents proud and, more importantly, his teacher proud. Clearly Jason has a shot at doing some big things with storytelling, and may just be using his lying powers for good, trying to make some movies in the future since he kind of knows the business now. He really could have turned out as bad as someone like Marty if he went down the path of letting all these lies consume you. They do have a lot of similarities, but Marty is the extreme and a good example of why telling the truth is pretty cool to do. Or, you know, just being a decent person and not being a jerk to everyone you work with, that's also pretty cool too.
Literally, bro, just be a good fucking guy. Like, but people swear that's the hardest thing in the world, to have empathy and emotions
now,
and a
Marty
soul.
works as a clown and ends up at a party for the wrestling monster truck guy's son, who proceeds to crack some walnuts. And that's the movie. But did you notice anything special here that would totally happen in a movie like this but surprisingly didn't? If you said love story, you'd be correct. Our two main leads, Jason and Kaylee, are just shown as really good friends who care for each other and have each other's back, but never have this moment where they go beyond this. It's not common to see this being just a good friendship in a movie like this, but I commend commend it for not feeling like it had to add that layer to it. They decided to keep it simple. The story, the characters, the scope, it's all fairly small, but oh so enjoyable because of it. Frankie Muniz is a strong enough lead to go against such a powerful, wild performance from Paul. It makes for a fun ride of seeing this terrible person get their life messed with, and this redemption arc for someone trying to be better, even if it means being a little bit bad. Amanda Bynes is great in the movie as well, but it's these little burst moments in the film where she truly shines. They really keep her role more reserved from the stuff she's used to, but when she is called to be on, oh, she is on. And this just adds another thing to her early resume of why she was one of the most talented kid and teen actors of that time. I mean, she won a Kids' Choice Award in 2003 for this movie, and that's all you need to know. From the story of the movie to the 2000s cliches riddled throughout to the performances given, Big Fat Liar is a staple in kids' movies from this era that upon a rewatch as an adult still holds up with all the fun of the adventure still there from when you were young. It's filled with a bunch of hit songs that also truly place it during this time. On every level, this movie excels as a fun time. And now with Sean Levy being a bigger force in Hollywood, he has made comments as recent as 2022 that a sequel in some shape or form is not out of the question. Something that may focus on Paul Giamatti's Marty character getting his own sort of revenge, maybe. But technically, there was a sequel that came out in 2017, 15 years later, entitled Bigger, Fatter Liar, and it's nothing tied to the original film.
Oh, I was about to say, like, what the fuck? What kind of title is that, though?
It's just some similar concepts. Maybe if you all convince me hard enough by watching this video and leaving a like, I'll consider making a video on that movie at some point as well. Either way, I hope you had a great Muniz March Madness.
Jesus. Hope y'all enjoyed that video as well, though. You know what I'm saying? Oof, 30 minutes. Jesus. Y'all, yo, plenty of good content to watch. I'm not gonna hide ya. Not gonna hold ya. But, you know, like, subscribe, do what y'all do. You know what I'm saying? Do y'all job and shit. Now, later.